Hello everyone, it's me Uncle Dan. Today I am going to read S4 4009, The Mystery of the Pirate Ghost by Geoffrey Hayes. One morning in Bull Bay, Otto and his Uncle Tooth were cleaning the attic. "What's in that old trunk?" Otto asked. "Things I brought back from my travels at sea many years ago," Uncle Tooth said. Uncle Tooth opened the trunk. He took out a shiny silver trumpet. "I found this on Foghorn Island. What an adventure that was," he said. "I wish I could have adventures," Otto said. "Nothing ever happens around here." Uncle Tooth gave Otto the trumpet. "It's yours if you want it," he said. "Gee, thanks," said Otto. Otto blew on the trumpet. Nothing happened. He took a big breath and blew again. This time the trumpet made a little phew sound. "Keep trying," Uncle Tooth said, "and you will get it right." Otto ran outside with his trumpet. Uncle Tooth's sister, Auntie Hick, was hurrying down the path. She did not see Otto. "Phew!" went the trumpet. Auntie Hick screamed. Uncle Tooth came running. "I'm sorry, Auntie Hick," said Otto. "I was just playing my flute," said Auntie Hick. "I thought you were the ghost." "What ghost?" cried Otto. "The ghost in my shop," she said. "This morning I heard noises inside my shop. I opened the door and saw a ghost. It stared at me with big red eyes. I ran here as fast as I could." "Don't be a fool," Uncle Tooth said. "There are no such things as ghosts." Auntie Hick stamped her foot. "I say there are, because I have seen one." Otto jumped up and down. "Let's go find the ghost," he said. "This might be the start of an adventure." The three of them hurried up the path toward Auntie Hick's shop. They passed Captain Poopdeck's houseboat. The captain was on the deck. He was picking up wet laundry. "Of all the rotten things," he muttered. "What's wrong?" asked Uncle Tooth. "Someone stole my clothesline," said the captain. "I'll bet anything." "It was the ghost," said Auntie Hick. "What ghost?" cried the captain. "There's a ghost on the loose in Bugle Bay," said Otto, "and we are going to catch it." "Wait for me," said the captain. "I'll join you." Soon they came to the inn. Joe Puffin was standing on a stool in front of the door. He had a cigar in one hand and a scrub brush in the other. He was screeching loudly. "What's the matter, Joe?" asked Uncle Tooth. "Someone broke in here last night," said the Puffin. "They turned everything upside down, and they did this." He pointed to the door. On it was a big red skull and crossbones. "I'm sure it was the ghost," said Auntie Hick. "Otto told the Puffin about the ghost. We're going to catch it." "Want help?" "Count me in," said Joe Puffin. They tiptoed to Auntie Hick's shop. Uncle Tooth opened the door. They peeked in. Auntie Hick screamed. There were boxes and jars, gumdrops and jelly beans all over the floor. But there was no ghost. "This ghost loves to make messes," said Uncle Tooth. "Some detective you are," said Auntie Hick. "Any fool can see that." They began counting boxes. "The ghost is a thief," she said. It took 5 boxes of saltwater taffy and a deck of cards. "This is serious. What are you going to do about it, Tooth?" Uncle Tooth puffed on his pipe. "I'm going to the inn," he said. "Food always helps me think." Back at the inn, Joe Puffin served up bowls of his special carrot soup. "Delicious," said Uncle Tooth. "Now how will we catch this ghost?" "A thief returns to the scene of the crime." "Do ghosts return too?" asked Otto. "We'll see," said Uncle Tooth. "We need something to lure it into our trap." "I know," Otto said. "My trumpet." "Good thinking," Otto said his uncle. "Now here is what we will do." That night Otto put his trumpet on the street outside the inn. The trumpet shone in the moonlight. Then Otto crawled inside a barrel. Uncle Deuce hid in a doorway. Captain Poopdeck crouched behind the bar at the inn. Joe Puffin flew up to the roof with a fishnet. Midnight came and went. Otto crept out of the barrel and peeked around the corner. He saw a giant shadow. Was it the ghost? No, it was Uncle Tooth. Shush, Uncle Tooth whispered. The ghost is coming. Otto held his breath. The ghost bent down and picked up the shiny silver trumpet. Now, yelled Uncle Tooth. Then he and Otto raced around the corner. Captain Poopdeck turned on the lights in the inn. The puffin flew from the roof and dropped the fish net over the ghost. The ghost slipped free of the net. It ran down a dark alley. Everyone chased it. Then it disappeared. Uncle Tooth scratched his head. Well, if that doesn't beat all, he said, maybe the thief really is a ghost. Look, cried Otto. He pointed to an open manhole in the street. Otto stuck his lantern down the manhole. He saw something. It was bobbing up and down in the water. Otto climbed down a ladder and fished it out with his soul. A pirate's head, cried Uncle Tooth. This looks like old Black-eyed Doodle's head to me. Didn't Black-eye drown at sea? Asked Joe Puffin. That he did, said Uncle Tooth. But it would be just like him to come back from the dead to hunt us. And now he has my trumpet, said Otto sadly. We will get it back, said Uncle Tooth. Tomorrow we will visit Widow Mole at Dead Man's Landing. She used to work for Black Eye. Maybe she can give us some clues. But now let's get some sleep. I'm as tired as an old boot. The next morning, Otto was up early. He came downstairs with his sword, a map, a lantern, and a spyglass. You look all set for ghost hunting, said Uncle Tooth. He opened the door. Look, cried Otto. There was a note pinned to the door with a knife. Otto read it. Give me back my hat, or you will be sorry. It was signed Black-eyed Doodle. Uncle Tooth snorted. I've seen many strange things in my day, he said, but I never saw a note from a ghost before. Uncle Tooth rowed his boat down the coast. Otto looked through his spyglass. But the fog was so thick he could not see anything. This is spooky, he said. You're not scared, are you? Asked Uncle Tooth. Of course not, said Otto. Soon they heard the tinkling sound of a piano through the fog. They rounded a bend and ducked at Window Mole's pool hall. Uncle Tooth and Otto swung the door open and marched in. The pool hall was filled with mean-looking sailors. Some were playing pool, some were drinking beer. Widow Mole was at the piano. Tooth, as I live and breathe, she cried. What brings you here? A ghost, said Uncle Tooth. Widow Mole stopped playing the piano. The pool hall got very quiet. Uncle Tooth showed Widow Mole the pirate's head. It's Black-eye's head, all right, she said. He was a mean pirate, but a good friend. I'm sorry he's gone. We're not so sure he's gone, said Uncle Tooth. He might even be here on Dead Man's Landing. He used to hide out here, didn't he? Yes, said Widow Mole. In a cave, but I don't know where. It was his secret. Dang, said Uncle Tooth. We'll have a look around. Otto and Uncle Tooth walked outside and fell onto the dock. Black-eye's head flew out of Otto's hands. The ghost grabbed the head, put it on, and faded into the fog. What happened? Asked Otto. Uncle Tooth pointed to the door. See that robe across the doorway? It is Captain Poopdeck's clothesline. We were tripped up by a ghost. You wait here for me, Otto. I'm going to catch that ghost once and for all. He took the clothesline and headed for the beach. Otto sat on the dock, but he soon got tired of waiting. I will walk down the beach just a little way, he thought. After a while, Otto found a playing card stuck to a bush. He moved the bush aside and saw a little cave. A bat flew out. Having an adventure is scarier than I thought, he said. Otto held out his sword, turned on his lantern, and slowly walked into the cave. What a surprise! In a corner of the cave were a bed and a trunk. On the bed were playing cards and candy wrappers. On the trunk was Otto's trumpet. Suddenly Otto heard a blood-curdling laugh. He turned around. The ghost was watching him with its big red eyes. Otto was trapped. The eyes came nearer and nearer. Otto grabbed the trumpet and blew on it as hard as he could. Blad went the trumpet. Trumpet was just so loud and so surprising that the ghost jumped up, jumped and ran out of the cave. It was just so loud that Uncle Tooth heard it. He came running down the beach. Otto, are you all right? He shouted. Yes, but the ghost got away. There it is, cried Uncle Tooth. He pointed to the rock above. Otto looked up. Something black peeked over the top of the rock. Its black eyes had after it, cried Uncle Tooth. They climbed up the rock. But just as they got near the top, the ghost stood up and jumped off the cliff. Uncle Tooth and Otto raced to the edge and looked over. In a cove below was a half-sunken old ship. The ghost was running across the deck. Suddenly there was a loud crack. The rotten wood broke apart. The ghost fell through the deck and splashed right into the water. Something else was splashing in the water nearby. An octopus, cried Otto. Help! Screamed the ghost. Don't let it get me. Uncle Tooth threw the clothesline down. The ghost grabbed it. Otto and Uncle Tooth began to pull him up. The pirate's head fell off and landed on the octopus. Looks like Black Eye's hat has found a new owner, said Uncle Tooth. A very wet ghost stood before them. Now take off that silly costume. We know you're Black-Eyed Doodle, Uncle Tooth said. No, I'm not. He took off his ghost costume. I'm his son, Ducky Doodle, and I'm twice as tough as my pa. We'll see how tough you are in jail, Uncle Tooth said. Ducky Doodle's face fell. Don't send me to jail, he begged. Life in the orphanage was bad enough. I ran away to be a pirate like my pa. Uncle Tooth shook his head. Listen, Doodle. A pirate's life is nothing but trouble. So far you have upset people, you have stolen things, and you even lost your father's head. I'm sorry, said Ducky Doodle, but I don't know what else to do. Otto and I will show you how to earn an honest living, said Uncle Tooth. Okay, said Ducky Doodle. I'll give it a try. Ducky Doodle did not go to jail, but he did pay for his crime. First, he returned the clothesline to Captain Poopdeck and washed a tub of dirty laundry. Next, he told Joe Puffin that he was sorry. Joe Puffin forgave Doodle, but only after Doodle washed the dishes and scrubbed the floor. Then Otto, Uncle Tooth, and Ducky Doodle went to Auntie Hick's shop. This is the ghost, Uncle Tooth said. He told Auntie Hick the whole story. Well, I never, Auntie Hick said. I will pay you back by working in your shop, said Ducky Doodle. Auntie Hick thought about that. Well, I sure could use some help, she told Otto and Uncle Tooth. I'll see that he behaved himself, and I'll teach him to read and write. I'm sure he didn't learn much in the orphanage, Ducky Doodle groaned. Auntie Hick let Otto and Uncle Tooth keep the rest of the stolen candy. It's not much of a reward, Otto said, but we had fun. More fun than mending fish nets, said Uncle Tooth. Maybe we could solve more mysteries and have more adventures, cried Otto. So they did. Otto and Tooth for hire as detective adventurers. By the hour, day, or week, the end.